The black ships came from nowhere. They appeared at the edge of the solar system, like ghosts made real. Captain Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming on Luna Station. The hot liquid spilled across his desk as he jumped up and ran to the control room. "What do we have?" Jake asked his crew. Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez was already at her station, her fingers flying across the keyboard. Her face was pale as she looked at the screens. "Sir, we have 300 ships. They just appeared out of nothing. The computers say they're not from Earth," Amy said. Her voice shook a little. Jake stared at the main screen. The ships were huge and dark. They looked like arrows made of black metal, pointed right at Earth. Each one was bigger than anything humans had ever built. They moved through space in perfect lines, like soldiers marching to war. "Get me President Turner on the line," Jake ordered. "And wake up everyone at Defense Command. This is not a drill." On Earth, President Lisa Turner was in her office when the call came. She had been reading reports about crop failures in the Midwest. The phone rang with the special tone that meant emergency. She picked it up fast. "Madam President, this is Captain Morrison at Luna Station. We have a problem." "A big problem." Jake's voice came through the speaker. "What kind of problem, Captain?" Lisa asked. She already knew it was bad from his tone. "Alien ships, ma'am. 300 of them. They're heading this way." Lisa felt her stomach drop. Every leader on Earth had been told this day might come. But knowing something might happen and having it really happen were very different things. "I'll call the Defense Council. Keep watching them and tell me everything they do," Lisa said. In space, Admiral Kex stood on the bridge of his flagship. He was tall and thin, with blue skin and 4 arms. His people, the Zephyrians, had conquered many worlds. Earth would be just another prize for their empire. "Commander Vextar, report on the target planet," Kexthul said to his second-in-command. "Sir, the planet has 1 large moon and about 7 billion beings. They have basic technology, chemical rockets, and simple nuclear weapons. They should surrender quickly," Vextar replied. Kexthul nodded. It was always the same. Young species. Tried to fight at first, then gave up when they saw how powerful the Zephyrians were. It saved time and lives to make them surrender fast. "Prepare the standard message. Tell them to give up or die." Kexthul ordered back on Luna Station. Dr. Helen Carter arrived with her team. She was Earth's best expert on alien life, though she had never seen real aliens before. She looked at the scans of the alien ships with interest and worry. "The technology is advanced, but not impossible," Helen told Jake. "These ships use some kind of energy field to move and fight, but I can see weak points." "What kind of weak points?" Jake asked. "All their systems seem to use the same type of energy. If we could disrupt that energy, their ships might fail," Helen explained. General Peter Collins was in the war room under the Pentagon. Maps and screens covered every wall. Officers ran back and forth carrying reports. The general was a big man, with gray hair and tired eyes. He had fought in many wars, but never against aliens. "How long until they reach Earth?" he asked his staff. "At their current speed, about 12 hours, sir," came the answer. 12 hours to save the world," Peter said quietly. "Get me everything we have. Every ship, every weapon, every person. Who can help?" The alien message came exactly 6 hours later. It appeared on every TV, radio, and computer on Earth at the same time. The voice was cold and strange, translated by computers into human languages. "People of the 3rd planet, you have been chosen to join the Zephyrian Empire. Put down your weapons and surrender your governments. If you fight us, we will destroy you all. You have 1 hour to decide." In the White House, President Turner sat with her advisors. The room was quiet, except for the sound of breathing. Everyone knew this was the most important moment in human history. "What are our options?" Lisa asked. "We can surrender and hope they treat us well," said one advisor. "We can fight and probably lose," said another. "Or we can try something else," said General Collins. He had been talking to Dr. Carter and her team. "The scientists think we might have a chance. Not to beat them in a normal fight, but to surprise them." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. "These aliens have won by being stronger than everyone else. They expect us to fight them the same way they fight. But what if we don't? What if we use our brains instead of our guns?" Dr. Carter stepped forward. "Madam President, I think we can. Turn their own technology against them. But we need to be brave. We need to make them think we're not afraid." "Are we afraid?" Lisa asked. "Terrified," Helen admitted. "But fear can make people do amazing things." President Turner looked around the room. She saw scared faces, but also determined ones. These people were ready to fight for their world, even if they might lose. "What do we tell them?" she asked. "The truth," General Collins said. "We tell them to leave. We tell them this is their only warning. And if they don't listen, then we show them what humans can do when they're cornered." Helen said the decision was made. In 1 hour, Earth would send its answer to the Zephyrian Empire. It would not be surrender. It would be the beginning of the strangest war in the galaxy. The hour was almost up. In the communications center deep under Colorado, Danny Walsh sat at his station. He was young, maybe 25, with nervous hands and a job that had suddenly become the most important in the world. His finger hovered over the send button. "Are you ready, son?" asked Colonel Steve Roberts. He stood behind Danny, watching the countdown timer on the wall. 30 seconds left. "Yes, sir," Danny said. His voice was steady, but his hands shook a little. President Turner's voice came through the speaker. "Send the message." Danny pressed the button. The signal went out into space, traveling at the speed of light toward the alien fleet. The message was simple and short. "Unknown alien force, this is Earth. You have made a mistake. Leave now, and we will consider this a misunderstanding. This is your only warning." On the alien flagship, the message arrived and was translated quickly. Admiral Keck-Stull read it twice, then started laughing. The sound was strange and harsh, like metal scraping against stone. "Commander Vextar, did you see this?" Keck-Stull asked, showing the message to his second in command. "Yes, sir." "It seems the humans think they can threaten us," Vextar replied. He was laughing too. "A warning? From a species that has not even left their own star system?" Keck-Stull found this very funny. "Tell the other ships. Let them all laugh at this." Lieutenant Quindell, the science officer, was not laughing. She was studying the scans of Earth's defenses. Something felt wrong, but she could not figure out what. "Sir, I think we should be careful," she said. "These humans may be hiding something." "What could they hide?" Keck-Stull asked. "We have scanned their planet. They have basic weapons and old technology. There is nothing to fear." Back on Earth, the response was very different. In the war room, everyone was working fast. Dr. Carter was at a computer with her team, typing commands and checking numbers. Captain Morrison was coordinating with defense stations all over the solar system. "How much time do we need?" asked General Collins. "At least 6 hours to get everything ready," Dr. Carter replied. "The quantum field generators need to be synchronized." "Perfectly." "What if they attack before we're ready?" asked President Turner. "Then we fight with what we have," said the general. "But I don't think they will. They're too proud. They want us to be afraid first." He was right. The aliens were not. In a hurry. They had conquered 17 star systems using the same method. First, they gave a warning. Then they waited for the fear to build. Finally, they attacked a scared and broken enemy. Major Sophie Laurent called from the European Space Defense. The orbital platforms are moving into position. My people are scared but ready. Commander Yuki Tanaka reported from the Pacific Defense Grid. We have finished the calculations. The harmonic frequency is exactly what Dr. Carter predicted. Captain Alex Petrov's voice came from the Russian Orbital Command. All systems are online. We are ready to begin Protocol 7. Protocol 7 was humanity's secret weapon. It was not a gun or a bomb. It was an idea. For 2 years, scientists had been studying quantum mechanics in a new way. They had discovered something that no other species had ever tried. Dr. Carter explained it to the military leaders. Every type of technology has rules. The aliens use quantum fields for everything. Their ships, their weapons, their shields. All of it depends on these fields staying stable. So we make them unstable? Asked General Collins. Exactly. We don't try to be stronger than them. We make their strength useless. The plan was dangerous. If it failed, Earth would have no other defense. But if it worked, the most powerful fleet in the galaxy would be helpless. Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez was monitoring the alien fleet from Luna Station. They're moving closer, sir. Still in formation, but faster now. Any sign they know what we're doing? Asked Captain Morrison. No, sir. They seem confident, maybe too confident. On the alien ships, the mood was relaxed. The Zephyrians had won so many battles that they could not imagine losing. They moved their ships closer to Earth, planning their attack. The humans have not sent another message, reported Commander Vextar. I think they are too scared to speak. Good, said Admiral Kexthal. Fear makes the conquest easier. But Lieutenant Quindle was still worried. She had studied the human response carefully. Sir, their message was very strange. They did not beg or try to negotiate. They just told us to leave. So what? Kexthal asked. In all our conquests, the other species always tried to talk first. They offered deals or asked for mercy. But the humans just gave us a warning. They are too primitive to know better, Vextar said. Or they know something we don't, Quindle replied quietly. On Earth, the preparations continued. Every space station, every orbital platform, every defense satellite was being connected to the quantum field generators. It was the biggest coordinated effort in human history. Dr. Ben Parker, the quantum physicist, was making final adjustments to the field equations. We only get one chance at this, he told his team. If we miss the timing, they'll figure out what we're doing. Chief Warrant Officer Maria Santos was installing the last generator on Luna Station. This is either going to save the world or blow us all up, she said to her assistant. Let's hope for the first one, he replied. In the White House, President Turner was addressing the nation. People all over the world were watching, waiting to hear what their leaders would tell them. My fellow humans, she began, we face a test today that no generation has faced before. We are not alone in the universe, and not everyone out there is friendly. But we are not helpless. We have something that our enemies do not expect. We have each other, and we have the ability to think in ways they cannot imagine. The speech was broadcast to every country on Earth. People gathered in their homes, in public squares, in schools and offices. Everyone was scared, but they were also proud. Their species was about to fight for its survival. We have sent the aliens a warning, the president continued. We told them to leave. They think this is funny. They think we are too weak to fight them. They are about to learn that being human means more than they know. The alien fleet was now 4 hours away from Earth. They had ignored the warning, just as the humans had expected. But they had no idea what was waiting for them. The trap was almost ready. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth, like a dark cloud covering the sun. Admiral Kexthul stood on his bridge, watching the blue planet grow larger on his screens. He had done this many times before. The pattern was always the same. "Begin Phase 1, he ordered. "Send the scout ships ahead. I want to see what weapons they have." 50 small ships broke away from the main fleet. They were fast and quiet, designed to study the enemy before the real attack began. Commander Vextar watched them go with satisfaction. "The scouts will map their defenses," he told his admiral. "Then we destroy their strongest weapons first. After that, the planet will surrender." Lieutenant Quindle was still studying the scans from Earth. She had found something strange, but she could not understand what it meant. "Sir, I am detecting unusual energy patterns around their moon." "What kind of patterns?" Kexthul asked. "I'm not sure. It looks like they are building something, but the energy signature is wrong. It does not match any weapon we know." "They are primitives," Vexthul said. "Whatever they are building, it cannot hurt us." But Quindle was not convinced. She had been a scientist before becoming a soldier. The energy patterns looked familiar, but she could not remember where she had seen them before. On Luna Station, Captain Morrison was coordinating the defense. His crew worked quietly, following orders they did not fully understand. The station looked like a research facility, but it was actually the most important weapon in human history. "How are we doing, Doctor?" he asked Helen Carter. "The quantum field generators are online," she replied. "We're ready to begin the disruption sequence as soon as they get close enough. And if this doesn't work, then we hope the regular weapons can buy us some time," Helen said. But they both knew the regular weapons would not be enough. The alien scout ships entered Earth's outer defense zone. They expected to find satellites and missile platforms. Instead, they found something much more interesting. Captain Rick Johnson commanded the outer defense ring. His job was to make the aliens think they were winning. "Let them see our missiles," he told his crew. "Make them think that's all we have." The human missiles flew toward the scout ships. The aliens destroyed them easily with their energy beams. To the Zephyrians, it looked like Earth's defenses were weak and old. "As expected," reported Commander Vextar. "Their weapons are chemical explosives. Very primitive, but the missiles were not meant to win. They were meant to hide the real purpose of the defense stations. While the aliens were destroying missiles, they did not notice the strange energy building up around them." Dr. Carter watched the readings on her screen. "They're taking the bait. The scout ships are moving into the disruption field. What will happen to them?" Asked Amy Rodriguez. "Their quantum field generators will start to fail. Slowly at first, then faster. They won't know what's happening until it's too late." On the lead scout ship, the pilot noticed something wrong. His instruments were showing errors. The quantum field that powered his ship was becoming unstable. "Command, this is Scout Leader Tixmal. I am having technical problems," he reported. "What kind of problems?" Asked Commander Vextar. "My power systems are failing. The quantum field is not stable." Lieutenant Quindle heard the report and suddenly understood. "Sir, I know what the humans are doing. They're using quantum field disruption." "That's impossible," Kexthul said. "No species has ever weaponized quantum disruption. It's too dangerous." "But that's what the energy patterns show," Quindle insisted. "They're not trying to destroy our ships. They're trying to turn off our power." Admiral Kexthul did not want to believe it. Quantum field disruption was theoretical. Even the Zephyrians had never tried it. It was too risky. One mistake could destroy everything for hundreds of miles. "These humans are not smart enough for that," he said. "It must be some kind of interference from their planet." But more scout ships were reporting problems. Their weapons stopped working. Their shields failed. Some ships lost power completely and started drifting in space on Earth. The plan was working perfectly. Colonel Roberts was coordinating from the command center. Phase 1 is complete. The scout ships are disabled. Are we ready for Phase 2? The main field generators are charging, reported Dr. Carter. But we need the fleet to come closer. They will, said General Collins. They're proud. They won't retreat just because a few scout ships had problems. He was right. Admiral Kexthal was angry about the scout ships, but he was not worried. He had faced technical problems before. The solution was always the same. Use more force. Recall the scouts, he ordered. We attack with the main fleet. Sir, I strongly advise against this, Lieutenant Quindle said. If the humans really have quantum disruption technology, our entire fleet could be at risk. Enough, Kexthal snapped. We have conquered 17 star systems. We will not be stopped by one primitive planet. The main fleet began to move. 300 warships, each one capable of destroying a city, headed toward Earth. The Zephyrians had never lost a battle. They could not imagine losing this one. On Luna Station, Captain Morrison watched the alien fleet approach. They're coming in fast. All ships, battle formation. Around the solar system, human ships moved into position. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the aliens did not expect. They had a plan that no one else in the galaxy had ever tried. Major Kate Sullivan commanded the Jupiter Defense Platform. It was the farthest from Earth, but it had the most powerful quantum field generators. We're ready, sir. The field is stable and building strength. Commander Yuki Tanaka reported from the Pacific Defense Grid. All Asian platforms are online. We're tracking the main fleet. Captain Alex Petrov called from the Russian Orbital Command. The disruption field is synchronized. When they enter the zone, their ships will start failing. Dr. Carter was making final calculations. The field strength is perfect, but we need to wait until they're all inside the disruption zone. If we start too early, some ships will escape. How long? Asked General Collins. 2 hours. Maybe less if they keep accelerating. President Turner was in the Situation Room, watching the battle develop. Are we really going to try to disable 300 alien warships? We're going to try, said the general. It's better than letting them destroy Earth. The alien fleet moved closer. Admiral Kexthal was confident. He had seen Earth's defenses, and they were weak. The humans had nothing that could stop the Zephyrian Empire. Prepare the planet-killer weapons, he ordered. We will give them one more chance to surrender. If they refuse, we destroy their largest cities. But Lieutenant Quindle was studying the energy readings again. The patterns were getting stronger. Whatever the humans were doing, it was big. Sir, I am detecting massive energy buildup throughout the solar system, she reported. It's not weapon energy. It's something else. What kind of something else? Kexthal asked. I think it's a trap, Quindle said quietly. For the first time since the battle began, Admiral Kexthal felt a moment of doubt, but it was too late to turn back now. The fleet was committed to the attack. The trap was ready. The aliens were walking into it. In 1 hour, the galaxy would learn that humans were not as helpless as they looked. The moment had come. The alien fleet was exactly where the humans wanted them. 300 warships floated in space between Earth and the Moon, their weapons ready to destroy everything below. Admiral Kexthal stood on his bridge, looking at the blue planet. Send the final message, he ordered. Tell them they have one last chance to surrender. The message went out across all human communication channels. People of Earth, your weapons cannot stop us. Surrender now, or watch your cities burn. In the command center under Colorado, President Turner listened to the alien ultimatum. Around her, military officers and scientists waited for her decision. The room was so quiet they could hear each other breathing. Are we ready? She asked Dr. Carter. All systems are online. Helen replied. The quantum field generators are charged and synchronized. We just need your order. And if this fails, then we fight with everything we have left, said General Collins. But I don't think it will fail. These people are too smart for that. President Turner looked at the faces around her. These were the best minds on Earth, and they believed in their plan. Do it, she said. Captain Morrison pressed the activation button on Luna Station. Quantum field disruption is active. All platforms. Begin the sequence. Across the solar system, hidden generators came online. They had been disguised as research stations, communication arrays, and mining facilities. The aliens had scanned them and found nothing dangerous. They were wrong. The disruption field was invisible, but its effects were immediate. On the alien flagship, Lieutenant Quindle watched her instruments with growing alarm. Sir, the quantum field fluctuations are increasing rapidly, she reported. Our power systems are becoming unstable. Fix it, Admiral Kexthul ordered. He was getting angry. Nothing was going as planned. I can't fix it, sir. The disruption is coming from outside. Our ships. The humans are doing something to the quantum fields throughout this region of space. Commander Vextar was studying his tactical display. Sir, I'm receiving reports from all ships. Power levels are dropping. Weapon systems are failing. That's impossible, Kexthul said. No species has this technology. But the evidence was right in front of him. His mighty fleet was losing power, ship by ship. The quantum fields that powered everything from their engines to their life support were being disrupted by something the humans had built. On Earth, the plan was working perfectly. Dr. Carter watched the readings with satisfaction. The field is stable and growing stronger. Their ships are losing power faster than we expected. How long until they're completely disabled? Asked Colonel Roberts. At this rate, maybe 30 minutes. But we need to be careful. If they figure out what we're doing, they might try to ram our positions. Captain Morrison was coordinating with defense stations throughout the solar system. All platforms report successful disruption. The alien fleet is dead in the water. But the aliens were not giving up easily. Admiral Kexthul ordered his ships to use backup power and attack immediately. Some ships still had enough energy to fire their weapons. All vessels, emergency power to weapons, he commanded. Destroy the human moon base. That's where the disruption is coming from. Several alien ships turned toward Luna Station and fired their energy beams. The weapons were weaker than usual, but still dangerous. Captain Morrison's crew watched the beams approach. Shields up, Morrison ordered. Return fire with everything we have. Luna Station's defenses activated. The station was protected by both energy shields and the quantum disruption field. The alien beams hit the shields and scattered harmlessly. Their weapons are at 20% power, reported Amy Rodriguez. The disruption field is working. More alien ships tried to attack, but their weapons were getting weaker by the minute. The quantum fields that powered their technology were failing throughout the fleet. Dr. Ben Parker was monitoring the field generators from his laboratory. The harmonic frequency is perfect. We're disrupting their quantum fields without affecting our own technology. How is that possible? Asked Chief Warrant Officer Maria Santos. We use a different type of quantum field, Ben explained. Their technology is based on stable quantum states. Ours is based on controlled instability. Our fields actually get stronger when theirs get weaker. This was the key to humanity's victory. While other species had tried to make their quantum fields as stable as possible, humans had learned to use unstable fields. It was more dangerous, but it also made them immune to the disruption that was destroying the alien fleet. On the alien flagship, the situation was getting desperate. Admiral Kexthul could see his ships losing power one by one. Some were already drifting helplessly in space. Lieutenant Quangdell, can we adapt our systems to resist the disruption? He asked. Not quickly enough, sir. The humans have found the exact frequency that destabilizes our quantum fields. We would need weeks to modify our technology. Then we ram their planet, Kexthul decided. Use backup power to crash our ships into their cities. But even the backup power was failing. The quantum disruption was affecting every system on the alien ships. Without their advanced technology, the Zephyrians were helpless. Commander Vextar looked at his tactical display with disbelief. Sir, we have lost contact with half the fleet. The other half is reporting critical power failures. This is impossible, Kexthul said again. We are the most advanced species in the galaxy. Not anymore, Quindle said quietly. These humans have found a way to turn our advantages into weaknesses. On Earth, the victory was becoming clear. General Collins was receiving reports from all over the solar system. The alien fleet is completely disabled. Some ships are losing life support. Should we destroy them? Asked Colonel Roberts. Not yet, said President Turner. Let's see if they want to talk. Captain Morrison opened a communication channel to the alien flagship. Alien fleet, this is Earth Defense Command. Your ships are disabled. Do you wish to surrender? There was a long silence. Then Admiral Kexthul's voice came through the translator, much quieter than before. How did you do this? We told you to leave, Morrison replied. We meant it. The alien admiral realized he had made a terrible mistake. He had underestimated humanity because they seemed primitive. But primitive did not mean stupid. The humans had found a completely new way to fight. What do you want? Kexthul asked. We want you to leave and never come back, Morrison said. Take your broken ships and go home. Tell your empire that Earth is protected. And if we refuse, then you will die here, Morrison said simply. Your ships have no power. Your weapons don't work. You are at our mercy. Admiral Kexthul looked around his bridge. His officers were staring at him, waiting for orders. But what orders could he give? His mighty fleet had been defeated by a species that barely knew how to travel to other stars. We will leave, he said finally, but this is not over. Yes, it is, Morrison replied. If you come back, we'll be ready. And next time, we might not be so gentle. The quantum disruption field was slowly powered down. The alien ships regained just enough power to limp away from Earth. But they would never forget this defeat. Dr. Carter watched the alien fleet retreating on her screens. They're leaving, but they'll be back. Maybe not them, but others will come. Let them come, said General Collins. We've proven that human ingenuity can beat superior technology. We're not helpless anymore. The battle was over. Earth had won. But the war for humanity's place in the galaxy was just beginning. The alien fleet limped away from Earth like wounded animals. Their proud black ships moved slowly through space, powered by emergency systems that barely worked. Admiral Kexthul sat in his command chair, staring at the blue planet that had defeated his empire. How many ships do we have operational? He asked Commander Vextar. 57 ships have enough power to reach the nearest Zephyrian base, Vextar replied. The rest will need to be towed. And our casualties? Surprisingly few, sir. The humans could have destroyed us completely, but they chose not to. This puzzled Kexthul more than anything else. In all his years of conquest, defeated enemies had always tried to destroy his fleet if they could. But the humans had disabled his ships and then let them go. Lieutenant, Quindle was studying the scans of Earth's defense systems. Sir, I think I understand what happened. The humans didn't try to match our technology. They found a way to make our technology work against us. Explain, Kexthul ordered. Every species we've conquered tried to build stronger weapons and better shields. But the humans studied our quantum field technology and found its weakness. They turned our own power source into our defeat. That's impossible. Our quantum field generators are perfect. Perfect for normal use, yes. But the humans created a disruption field that made our quantum fields unstable. It's like they found a key that unlocks every door in our empire. Admiral Kexthal realized the full meaning of what had happened. The humans had not just defeated his fleet. They had found a way to defeat any Zephyrian fleet. The Empire's greatest strength had become its greatest weakness. On Earth, the celebration was quiet. People were relieved, but they also understood that everything had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and not all their neighbors were friendly. President Turner addressed the world from the White House. Today, we learned that we are not alone in the galaxy. We also learned that we are not helpless. The courage and intelligence of our people have protected our world from those who would conquer us. In the command center, Dr. Carter was already thinking about the future. They'll be back, she told General Collins. Maybe not the same aliens, but others will come. Word will spread that Earth defeated a Zephyrian fleet. Will they know how we did it? Asked Colonel Roberts. Eventually. Yes. But knowing how we did it and being able to stop it are different things. We have an advantage now, but we need to use it wisely. Captain Morrison was still on Luna Station, watching the alien fleet disappear into the distance. What do we do? Now? He asked Amy Rodriguez. We get ready for the next time, she replied, and we help Earth become stronger. The quantum disruption technology was Earth's secret weapon, but it was also dangerous. Dr. Ben Parker was working on ways to make it safer and more effective. We need to build more generators, he told his team. And we need to find other ways to defend ourselves. Why other ways? Asked Chief Warrant Officer Maria Santos. Because smart enemies will find ways to adapt. We can't depend on the same trick working forever. On the alien flagship, Lieutenant Quindle was writing her report about the battle. She had to explain to the Zephyrian High Command how their most powerful fleet had been defeated by a species that had never left their own star system. The humans are not primitive, she wrote. They think differently than any species we have encountered. They do not try to be stronger than their enemies. They try to be smarter. Admiral Kexthal read the report and signed it. He knew it would probably end his career, but it was the truth. The Zephyrian Empire had been defeated by human intelligence. What will the High Command do when they read this? Asked Commander Vextar. They will probably blame me for the defeat, Kexthal replied, but some of them will understand. These humans are dangerous, not because they are strong, but because they are unpredictable. The message reached the Zephyrian homeworld 3 days later. The High Command read it with disbelief, then anger, then fear. A species that could disable Zephyrian technology was a threat to the entire Empire. We must attack Earth again, said High Commander Zexkol. With more ships this time. More ships won't help, replied Science Commander Yothara. The humans can disable any number of our ships. We need a new strategy. Or we need to leave them alone, suggested another commander. Earth is one planet. We have an entire galaxy to conquer. But some members of the High Command were already planning. If the humans had found a way to disrupt Zephyrian technology, maybe they could learn from the humans. Maybe they could use human ideas to make their own empire stronger. Back on Earth, the work continued. Dr. Carter was leading a new project to study alien technology. The disabled scout ships that had been left behind were full of information about how the Zephyrians built their empire. Look at this, she told her team, pointing to a scan of an alien engine. Their technology is incredibly advanced, but it's also rigid. Every ship uses the same type of quantum field generator. That's why our disruption worked so well. So they're victims of their own success? Asked Dr. Parker. Exactly. They perfected their technology and then never changed it. We're still learning and adapting. That makes us more flexible. President Turner was meeting with world leaders to discuss Earth's new situation. We need to prepare for more contact with alien species, she told them. Some might be friendly. Others might be even more dangerous than the Zephyrians. How do we prepare for something we can't predict? Asked the Prime Minister of Canada. We do what humans do best, Lisa replied. We learn, we adapt, and we help each other. The United Nations was creating a new organization called Earth Defense Command. General Collins was chosen to lead it. His job was to coordinate all of Earth's defenses and prepare for future alien contact. We can't depend on quantum disruption forever, he told his staff. We need to develop new technologies and new strategies. The next aliens might be immune to our current weapons. Captain Morrison was promoted to Admiral and given command of the new Space Defense Fleet. His first job was to build more stations like Luna Station throughout the solar system. We need early warning systems, he explained to his engineers. And we need to be able to defend not just Earth, but all human colonies in space. Are we planning to expand beyond Earth? Asked Commander Yuki Tanaka. We have to, Morrison replied. If we stay on one planet, we're vulnerable. If we spread out to many planets, we're safer. The defeat of the Zephyrian fleet had an unexpected effect throughout the galaxy. Word spread quickly that a young species had found a way to disable the most powerful technology in known space. Some species were frightened. Others were curious. The Altarians were a peaceful trading species who had been conquered by the Zephyrians 50 years earlier. When they heard about Earth's victory, they sent a secret message. People of Earth, the message said, we congratulate you on your victory. If you are willing, we would like to learn from you. In exchange, we can teach you about the galaxy and its many dangers. Dr. Carter was excited about the possibility of peaceful contact. This could be our chance to make allies, she told President Turner. We need friends out there. How do we know we can trust them? Asked General Collins. We don't, Helen admitted. But we have to start somewhere. We can't fight the entire galaxy alone. The decision was made to respond to the Altarian message. Earth's first diplomatic contact with a friendly alien species began with a simple reply. We are interested in friendship and mutual learning. Meanwhile, the Zephyrian Empire was struggling with the implications of their defeat. Some worlds that had been conquered were starting to rebel. If humans could defeat the Zephyrians, maybe they could too. Admiral Kexthul was called before the High Command to explain his failure. He stood in the great hall of the Empire's capital, facing the leaders who had trusted him with their greatest fleet. You lost 300 ships to a primitive species, accused High Commander Zexkul. How do you explain this disgrace? The humans are not primitive, Kexthul replied. They are different. They think in ways we do not understand. That made them dangerous. One planet defeated our entire fleet. One planet that refused to fight the way we expected them to fight. They did not try to match our strength. They found our weakness and used it against us. Science Commander Yulthara stepped forward. What did you learn about their technology? It is based on controlled instability, Kexthul explained. Our technology seeks perfect stability. Theirs embraces controlled chaos. That is why their quantum disruption worked against us. Can we adapt our technology to resist their weapons? Yes, but it would take years. And by then, they will have developed new weapons. These humans never stop learning. The High Command discussed the Earth problem for hours. Some wanted immediate revenge. Others wanted to study human technology. A few suggested leaving Earth alone and focusing on easier targets. What is your recommendation, Admiral? Asked Yulthara. Kexthel thought carefully before answering. I recommend we treat Earth as an equal, not as a target for conquest. These humans could be valuable allies or dangerous enemies. We should choose carefully. It was not the answer the High Command wanted to hear, but it was the truth. Earth had changed the balance of power in the galaxy by proving that superior technology did not guarantee victory. On Earth, life was slowly returning to normal, but with important